Hello again, this is Jamal, and I had a painful pleasure of watching State of the Union. Well, at least part of it. He talked a little bit about Russia and Ukraine, which, well, I see all these politicians with the Ukrainian pins and flags and whatnot. Ukrainian government is just as bad as Russian. It's corrupt. He's a dictator. He imprisoned all of his political rivals. So I don't feel bad for Ukrainian politicians at all. I feel bad for Ukrainian people, and I feel bad for Russian people as well because they're not gonna be able to purchase food cheaply. They starving essentially. Russian people instead of Russian government. All these sanctions are not gonna be felt by a Russian officials. It's gonna be felt by Russian citizens. So Biden talked about rising prices of the prescription medication. Well, here's the reason for those rising prices of the medications. I mean, come on, how stupid do you think we are? He's talking about securing a border. The last time I checked, it was for open border. So which one is it? This guy flip flops more than anybody else I see. Then he was talking about funding the police. A couple of years ago, he was talking about defunding the police. So which one is it? Please, somebody let me know. Our oil prices are still rising. He's talking about he's going to release oil reserve. That's perfectly nice. How about you open up the Alaska pipeline and we're going to be energy independent and we don't have to worry about anybody else to support us with oil that we need so we can run our vehicles and heat our homes. He was talking about economy and how he achieved some of the greatest things in economy since beginning of Noah. Really, I mean, after the pandemic, economy had nowhere to go but up. I mean, everything was shut down. Only essential workers were allowed to work. So, like I said, economy had nowhere else to go but up. He talked about the VA. He's going to make some changes to VA. Well, I sure the hell hope so, because I made an appointment for VA, and next available VA appointment that I had was 3 months from now. So, wow, thanks, VA. You talk about COVID-19 restrictions being lifted. About time. First, when the COVID started, all these Democrats were yelling and screaming that Trump was being racist when he closed the borders, and then they used the pandemic to shut down the country, essentially. And now they want to vaccinate everybody and have all the tests for COVID-19. I would like for you guys to think about something and maybe do a little bit of research and see how many politicians have invested into stocks, into these pharmaceutical companies that are providing these vaccines and these tests. And you're going to see why they're pushing it for us to be vaccinated and to have the tests done. He also talked about gun control. He wants a universal background check, which means universal registration, which means, in the end, confiscation. If you look at historically, that's how it always happened. So, that's my opinion on State of the Union address. I watched the Republican response. It wasn't really strong. It really wasn't. I was kind of disappointed at the response. I really was. I thought it could have been done a lot better. It was done by Governor of Iowa. They talk about how she's smart and strong, but she really didn't come up with anything strong. Let's talk about some of the high-tech companies that are pulling out of Russia, and they are saying they're not going to do any more business with Russia. They're not pulling out of Russia because of a war going on over there. I can guarantee you that. Like Apple. Apple is not going to sell to Russians anymore. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Ruble has tanked. So, essentially, if you buy an Apple product in the morning, you're not going to be able to afford that same Apple product in the afternoon, the way the inflation is of ruble right now. So they just try to save themselves money. And they try to make it look like they're doing a great thing for the world. They're full of crap. That's what I'm going to tell you. All these big tech companies, they don't care about human life. If they cared about human life, they would stop selling their equipment to terrorists and Middle Eastern countries that support terrorism. Only reason why they're still selling it to them is because Middle Eastern money is worth a lot more than dollar in some instances. So don't give me this humanitarian BS. Let's be honest. You try to save yourself money because ruble is tanking. And prove me wrong, please. I dare you to prove me wrong. I know nobody's from Apple is going to see this. I hope they will. But please, prove me wrong. All the reason why you're pulling out of Russia and you're not going to sell anything over there is because of their money is worthless. So please, don't try to make yourself sound so amazing, like you're the greatest thing ever for humanity and humanitarian issues. Bullshit. Also, Biden was talking about some of this bringing companies. Everybody's want to build a company here, and how he wants to raise taxes on 1%, on 1% of wealthiest Americans. Well, 1% of Americans, the 1% richest of Americans, already pay 90% of our taxes. So what's going to happen if you raise the taxes on them even more? They're going to go somewhere else. And as soon as they run out of money, or they hide their money better, who are you going to come after that? Middle class, us. And we're going to run out of money faster than rich people. So who are you going to come after next? Poor people. That's how that works. I mean, you're moving towards socialism. You don't even realize. You just want somebody else's money in your pocket. He talked about education and how much more money we got to put in the education. I would like to see where all those billions of dollars that are being put in education, how they're being spent. Are they being spent on investigating parents because they're speaking their minds? Where is that money? I would like to know. I really would. Then he talked about how he wants, I know I'm going back and forth, flip-flopping, so just please bear with me because I am a little upset about the way this played out. Is just So stupid. He talked about billions of dollars for education. Like I said, I would like to see where that money is going for now. And he talked about how he wants to investigate billions of dollars that disappeared during the last administration. Well, I would like to see that as well. I would like to see where all those Democrats put all that money. $32 million towards Kennedy Center? For what? So Democrats can get their money back in their campaign donations, like Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is tax-funded organization, and they take that money and they put it back into Democrats. I'm sorry, I'm just all over the place, but they're putting back into the Democrats' election fund. So this is the taxpayers' money. They're being funded for elections for the Democrats. So we also have news out of Texas as well. So they're having their primaries, and 30% of the ballots are being rejected. All the Democrats are crying and bitching because you need to verify of who you are to vote. They know they're going to lose. They know they're going to lose. Dead people are voting. We all know that. Illegals are voting. So I'm glad to see that Texas is doing something about that. Well, and they want to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour. But everything is expensive and they want to bring all the prices down. I don't know if anybody ever told our president how economy works. You have to pay the employees. If you pay the employees more money, it costs you to operate your business even more. So you have to get that money from somewhere. Where are you going to get it? If you're selling a product, you're going to raise your prices of the product you're selling. If you're providing just labor, that labor is going to go up, and you're going to have to raise the prices of the labor, and that's going to be passed on to customer. Simple as that. And the dollar is going to go down because everything is more expensive. So dollar in a world market will go down, it'll be weaker, which may be good for the companies to come over here and build here. But you're not going to be able to purchase as much. Well, I like for you guys to think about everything I said today. Subscribe. Please leave me a comment down below. Be the first one to comment on this video. And I'm hoping to hear from you soon. And hoping to see you later. Thank you for your time.